Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Doctor Strange Issue 3, 2023. Holy shit, really good cover here, and kind of fits with what's kind of going on. Now granted, Strange does not get possessed by Dormammu, but this definitely deals with Dormammu in this issue. Yeah. So, we open up and we're in Yonkers, New York, as a family is proud of their dad's kind of promotion, saying that he'll do fine, and the kid, his son wants to, asks if he'll get a promotion someday. If he listens to his mother and says his prayers, I'm sure you will. Alright, you two, I'm off. You be good. And then we switch over to the Sanctum Sanctorum as we get information about Agamon dying from Wong and Peters. And, of course, Clea's like, he was a warlord, a slaver, a murderer. Are we sure it's not great? There was no line he would not cross in his grasping for power. Are we to shed tears for him now? And, of course, Pandora's like, it leaves a power vacuum that there's going to be a war for. It's like, in the Purple Dimension, as well as the territory he claimed in the Gobi Desert. It's like, okay. And, of course, Strange is like, you don't know who did it? And they're like, not at the moment. We have a theory, though. Well, I'll leave the investigation to Wong, then. Regretfully, I have other problems today. And Wong informs us that it's Parlay Day. And it's like, okay. And, of course, says that he'll keep them appraised. And Clea pretty much is like, well, you're going to ask me? And he's like, have I reason to, love? No, I did not kill Agamon. Your word is all I required. Your word is all I require, Clea, as ever. As we then hear knock, knock, knock. And then Clea's like, I'll leave this to you. I can hardly blame you, darling. It is, after all, Parlay Day. Which means that must be your uncle, the dread Dormammu. As we see that Bats opens the door. It's like, ah, shit, Dormammu! What the fuck? Doc? And, of course, he starts trying to do an exorcism. And he's like, no, how dare you? This is my honor. Every time our yearly parlay comes around, you try that. My creatures love and adore me, their lord. You cannot exercise a willing host, Strange. As we see the dude, his promotion was to be the host for Dormammu during Parlay Day. It's like, that's not good. And of course, it ends up killing the host. And Strange is like, screw that shit. And it was like, of course I am. A cold war is still a war, Strange, and people die in wars. I'm the dread Dormammu, channeling a fraction of my essence into this shell will burn it out in mere hours. And there's nothing you can do about it, Doctor. It's like, So that's the kind of game that he's playing. And then, of course, he asks about the host, that he's Everett Stone, a third-generation true believer like all the others. A mate to spawn an investment banker, whatever that is. Members of my cult tend to be very successful in the financial sector, as it turns out. And Strange is like, interesting. And I like that Dormammu is like, financial sector, whatever the fuck that shit is. Of course, Strange asks what he wants, what he always wants, but at this very moment, merely to share a fine parlay day with my old enemy after so long apart. You're looking very well, I must say. Time must have been terribly unpleasant. And then, of course, Strange is like, how it must have stuck in your crawl to not be the one to kill me. It was Umar alone among all the Faltine who aided in my murder. And then he's like, ha! Dagoth, Agamon, Tiboro, and my sister playing at murderers with that worm Chrysalis as their weapon. A killing that did not even take. Please, when I kill you, Strange, you will stay dead. It's like, yeah, that sounds like how Dormammu would kind of handle that. And then we see them pretty much just going about Strange dealing with all the different kind of things he has to. Asks about his niece, that she's doing well. Saying that this is beneath him. If it might, I disagree, Strange. If it might cause you pain, nothing is beneath me. It is, of course, why I ride one of my worshippers' souls every time I come to Parlay, making the great doctor, the healer, look into a man's eyes as he dies. Dies thanking me for the honor. And we do see that kind of affecting Strange as he's dealing with the crazy kind of goopy tendril kind of stuff after it gets on him after he defeats it. And then I love seeing them in the park doing chess. And then talking about the first time that they met. Of course, Dormammu thinks about it as arrogance more than anything. And I do like this because we go through their history, which works pretty well, and I like how it's done. It doesn't feel onerous, and there's a point to it. Talking about that the mindless ones would have killed him. He saved him from that, and he gave him aid, put you in my debt. How sad. Dormammu was like, "Ooh, how sad to live in the past." I've been thinking a great deal about our history as of late. Checkmate, as he checked him in checkmate. And then, of course, dealing with the spirit of Mammon and all the greed and everything, and how he's like, doesn't it get to you, the futility, all your hard work, endlessly undone by the endless greed of the ones you're sworn to protect? Do you not see how pointless this is? A doctor fights the disease, no matter how often it returns. You, the dread Dormammu, speak to me of greed. You who tried to take this earth, only to have the earth itself come to my aid and strike you down? As it then gives us the information of where we could see that. Tell me, Dormammu, do you think I have a particularly good memory for my victories, or is it just your defeats that stay with me so? As we then see his face being like, fuck you, man. And then, like, ask Strange, why this city? You who have seen the glories of all the dimensions. And then we see them pretty much eating. Well, mainly Strange, as they're, like, floating next to a bridge. He's like, I like it here. For whatever reason, the lion's share of global crises seem to happen here. And then he says that I give you this city if you bowed to me, accepted me as your master, as I rightfully am. All of this I will give you if you will bow down and worship me. Eh? Get thee behind me, Dormammu. Speak sense, Strange. Forgive me. Sometimes one devil sounds very much like another. Like, yeah, that's usually how that works. As for the city, you do well not to dismiss it. Do you recall when you stole my body and banished my spirit into one of its many rats? If memory serves, my friends and I still managed to defeat you. As we see that going on, I was like, yeah, that sounds like a pretty bad defeat there. Talking about how many times he's defeated him with his secret defenders, or when the odds were reversed, when you bound yourself to the underchild, or perhaps the time when I arranged for you to understand your own insignificance, as he shows even more kind of defeats. I believe our time together is coming to an end. This body cannot take much more of my habitation. Since you have been taking such relish in recounting my defeat, Strange, I'll leave you with one of your own. A human life you cannot save. Why not make a wish before you go, Dormammu? Toss a coin into the fountain. I don't believe you humans generally carry coinage anymore. Then we must borrow one. Here, Stephen. And it's like, huh, interesting. It's like, Dormammu would definitely do this, so I do like seeing that, and then we see that somebody has come and given him a coin. It's like, what the hell? And we learn that it's Jean Grey, and a coin of her people. What is the meaning of this strange mysterium? It negates magic. I believe you're familiar with it from a more recent defeat in the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like, oh, cool. I love the connecting of all of this together. I've been telling stories all day, Dormammu. Stories of how I, Stephen Strange, just a man, had defeated you, Dormammu, a creature worshipped as a god, over and over again. But I wasn't telling them to you. And it's like, yeah, he was telling it to the host. Which is great. He's telling him to Everett, a man who has a family, a man whose life has value, no matter what he's been raised to believe. Holding this, I am vulnerable. My magic weakened. You're making quite a gamble, Strange, gambling with your life. All surgeons are gamblers, Dormammu, as are all magicians. Reach out, Everett Stone. I've told you who Dormammu really is, what he really is. I'm putting my own life on the line to save yours. Take this coin and banish him. It's like, damn. I like that he has been put in this crazy parlay situation, and he's still trying to save this person. That's Doctor Strange. And Dormammu's like, oh, this isn't going to work. And then we see his hand rising to take it. He's like, no, you're my loyal worshipper. Damn you, Strange, for this. As he says, damn you. And the man, Everett, reaches out and takes the coin, and we see Dormammu vanish. It's like, damn. And that's a great artwork right there, just showing the banishment happening. It's like, you saved me. No, you saved yourself, Mr. Stone. Miss Gray and I merely provide the necessary assistance. And that, see, I love the movement from Doctor Strange being arrogant to that. It's like, he could have taken the credit and said he saved him, but he's like, no, you chose to do it. And he's like, just all my life, I was raised to believe in Dormammu, to serve him. What am I supposed to believe in now? As we see him shaking, it's like, I get that. Well, Mr. Stone, I understand that's a difficult proposition, and not one I envy. But you have an entire life to find out, as they walk towards a portal. Then we're back at the sanctum, and Stranger's like, I'm back. And Clea's like, was your gambit successful? Well, I surgically removed a man's fate. I'm not certain how I feel about that, but regardless, he will live. How was your day? As we see him using magic to take off his shoes and everything, which is great. Oh, fine. Oh, Clea, what is it? A cursed letter? A hex card? Worse, Stephen. Far, far worse. My mother is getting married, and we are invited. And it's like, ah, shit. And we see the wedding invitation. It's like, oh, God. She's getting married to the Sorcerer Supreme of the Sixth Dimension, Lord of the Seething Volcano, the Spirit of Decay. But that is not the end of this issue. For this issue is a little bit beefier at $4.99, and we get a little backup issue, which is kind of cool because I'm not that familiar with the Runaways. And we are at Griffith Park, Los Angeles, not too long ago, as we see someone writing in a diary saying that adults suck, trying to get better about writing stuff down. She's on the run with her friends because their parents turned out to be supervillains. I found out I have my own superpowers, well, through the staff of one, and the guy I was in love with betrayed us all. It's total movie material, right? And we see Nico Minoru, and we see it in, of course, Dormammu's speech bubbles. And of course, he wants the staff of one, and she's like, why should I give it to you? Because I'm the Dread Dormammu, Lord of the Dark Dimension, and you are but a child. And we learned that the staff of one, an heirloom or family curse, depending how you look at it. Heritage is really overrated when you have to bleed for it every time. It's because she had to slice herself and the staff comes out. Look, I don't know you, but I know a bully when I see one, so go ahead and try and take it from me. And Dormammu's like, fuck that fuck you. And then tries to pretty much take it. And she uses it to make snow, and we learned that when the staff works, it works really well, but each spell can only be used once. There are no repeats. And then we see, of course, a portal opening up. It's like, well now, Dormammu, shaking down kids for their lunch money, are we? And I really like the art style here. It's a different departure from what we're normally used to, and it just really works well. I like Nico's look, and I like Strange's look, and I like Dormammu's. And she's like, damn, Strange, Dr. Strange. And she's heard his reputation, but in real life, he kind of looks old. And then, of course, Dormammu's like, stay out of here, saying that the staff is not yours to take. So he's here for the staff, too. Why does everyone want this thing except me? It belongs to this young mage. Or maybe not. It's like, yeah, cool, Strange. Not for long. I summon the full power of the Dark Dimension. He looks pretty mad. Yes, he does. How about a little help here, Miss Minoru? Sorry, protect. Oops, guess I used that one already. Freeze, clear, away, shrink. And she's like going through all of these different kind of ones to do anything. And the shrink one actually worked. No! As they said, you're making him into a little chibi Dormammu. It's like, yep, that'll work. Took you a little longer than I expected, but nice work, Nico. So, did you come for the staff too? I won't lie, it would look great in my collection, but it's yours. I just needed to make sure it was in the right hands, and it is. Just one piece of advice. Maybe keep track of the spells you've already used. And I like that. He's like, that's strange. He's like, I wanted to make sure you were good with it. And you are. That's really when I decided a journal was probably good, was a pretty good idea. And maybe not all adults suck after all, as they pretty much shrank Dormammu like that. And I'm like, that's a cute little story, and I actually liked it. Because I like the art style, I like what it showed about Strange, and I like what it showed about Nico and Dormammu. It was cool, and it helped me get a better kind of understanding of another magic user in the Marvel Comics universe. So, I really enjoyed this because I liked this whole kind of setup of Parlay Day, the understanding of like Dormammu and Strange pretty much getting together, and Dormammu pretty much using it to dangle in front of Strange that you can't save this person. They're mine, and I can burn them out and kill them at my whim. And Strange using that and using all of his victories against Dormammu to get someone to be like, no, I don't want to be your vessel anymore, and to save themselves. And Strange's like, what I did was save their life, but I could have made them into a worse person depending upon how this kind of flips out, because he surgically removed a person's faith because what they believed in was an asshole. And that can work in a lot of different ways, because they could find something for a higher calling and a better purpose, or something even worse and do worse kind of things to the world. We'll have to see how that works out. I liked the premise. I liked seeing Strange and Stephen Strange's relationship with Dormammu, and how we got a cool kind of flashback of all the different kind of stuff that they've been through together, and how it was utilized effectively to handle the story in the present. And I like the little story that we got at the end. It just fit very well. I liked the art style, and I liked the consistency of the writing of the characters. So I believe that it's enough to be like, okay, I'm good with the extra dollar added onto here. But if you are not, I don't blame you on that. I just want to give you the information of that. I found this was enjoyable, in my opinion, and worth the price. And if it's not worth it for you, that's cool. You have to make those decisions and choices, and I just want to give you the information to do that. Kind of like Strange, giving the information to Everett Stone. So, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.